Well, welcome everyone. Today we have Charlie Spore, local Doverian, advocate for skateboarding, youth activities, championing for a new skate park in the town, putting on events. Also works in the public sector as also NHS staff, so you know that he's a caring guy anyway. And well, welcome. How are you doing?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah,
Everything's good. Thank you for having me, guys. Really hyped to be here and
Well, we got
share my story and share what I'm doing.
Yeah. So this is the point is we want everyone to know what you've been up to. So as you might be able to tell, there's a skateboard in the background. Obviously you are. How long have you been skateboarding for?
If my memory is right, I think I started when I was probably about 11. Okay. So I'm 35 this year. So
nice.
4 years.
So you would have been skating like all the hotspots. Would you have been skating when MFS? And what was the old building by the leisure centre? It was the old furniture store. Not MFS. MFI. No, don't remember that building?
Don't know anything about skating there, no.
No, it was where the new St James's Cinema is, basically. There was a whole place. We used to build a little skate park in there.
Before my time. I'm not that old.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know, but I was a skateboarder in my youth.
Really?
I
never knew that.
I can pop shove it, my friend. I can pop
you
shove
have to
it.
show me after.
I can kick flip. Well, I used to be able to. Yeah, no, I used to be in a skate park on a skateboard as well. So, yeah. You have been for a number of years advocating for better skate facilities in Dover. So I think, first of all, let's break down the reasons, mental health reasons or facility reasons or things to do or, whatever it is. Why do you want better skate facilities? And how does it benefit the community?
I think personally, as somebody that's skateboarding through and through, I've loved skateboarding since I picked up a skateboard. Growing up on a council estate, a lot of...
Which was where?
The Linces.
Ah, me too.
There you go. Well,
I was posh Linces.
I was posh Linces as well. But we hung around on the estate.
Yeah.
I think I'd already sort of discovered skateboarding at 11 and I tried it and I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't, obviously, I wasn't as into skateboarding as I am now. But as I grew into it and got a real passion for it, and as I grew up sort of becoming a teenager and older, hanging around, not realising that kids in these areas, they don't have a lot to do. I was a bit different because I had a love for skateboarding. So that was my focus. There might have been people around me getting in trouble or maybe struggling with certain things, but I always had skateboarding and I dipped in and out of skateboarding, but skateboarding definitely sort of helped me as a person to sort of go through those stages in life and really kept me grounded. And it didn't take me long to realise, like, I don't want to sit on an estate doing nothing, possibly getting into trouble. I'd much rather go to the skate park. So it was very quickly, I realised that, and that's what I did. Like, I just went to the skate park every day, got my head down and just skated, because it gave me so much more than just sitting around not doing a lot. So yeah, for me, it's really important because of that own sort of personal experience of like sharing skateboarding now as a skateboard coach, going into schools, teaching at skate parks, to maybe encourage kids. And it's not just skateboarding. I talk as it's skateboarding because that's what I'm about and my passion, but this can be for any interest, any passion you have for anything. It really, for me, if you've got something that you enjoy, it can give you so much more than if you don't. So I'm always actively trying to encourage. And I did it even at a young age. I pulled people with me. Do you know what I mean? I was like, come skate. Just come and skate with me. Like, rather than, don't do this, just come and skate. And I see it, I've seen it further as I've stayed at Pencester and seen kids maybe getting into trouble, not having a lot to do, loitering, maybe not enjoying a space like they should, and be like, try it. And now I've grown and I'm a parent, and I want to share that, to be like having a focus. And it's not just skateboarding. It could be riding a bike, it could be a scooter, it could be playing football, anything. But I think it's so important to people to have something in their life to sort of focus on. So yeah, that's why I believe in having better facilities, because then having a better facility will encourage more younger people to actually have an interest. And by better facility, more modern, but also bigger in size. Because if a place is really crowded, what young kids are going to want to start when they're very intimidated and there's not a lot of space for them? So yeah, I think that's why it's so important to me, and that's why I've been campaigning for as long as I have.
Mm. A couple of points I would like to relate to you with on that, and being a local Devorian in the same view of what you said about needing more things to do, and mountain biking actually kind of saved my life in a way. I tried BMXing, rollerblading, skateboarding. I enjoyed all of these different kind of things I did when I was a kid. But it wasn't until I got quite a bit older that a friend of mine, Ryan Sarr, amazing musician, we all know.
Brilliant.
It was actually him who started hanging out with some cyclists, and he said to me, like, get yourself a bike, come riding, all that kind of stuff. I was like, didn't know anything about this kind of mountain biking, dirt jumping phase. Then I got into it. I ended up with like a whole career and everything out of it. It was really great. So yeah, having a passion for something really does help people. And the other thing that I wanted to say that I can relate to what you're doing, and we need to see more people doing what you're doing. Again, when I was, I don't know, around the age of sort of like 10 to 15 years old, or maybe a bit younger, where I used to live up Friars Way, there was always this older chap playing football in the car park. And I can't remember if he played for a team or something like that. It was so long ago. But he would encourage all of us youngsters to go and play football with him. And he would, come play football, get us involved with playing football. And we don't see so much of that anymore. Maybe it's because everybody's working too much, and this kind of thing. But we do need to encourage more champions, advocates, or people like yourself for different sport. We've got, you listen to the Wayne Morley one. He's one advocate. There's other boxing gyms are available as well. Other great advocates in Dover.
I'm a big fan of all of the work that I see. Yeah, definitely.
And we do need to, and without going down any kind of politics route, what nobody's talking about right now is we need to figure out a way that we can work a little bit less. Because if we work a little bit less, then we can have a bit more time for activities and hobbies to make ourselves healthier and more sane. And that in itself would alleviate a lot of pressures off of like NHS and care work as well, because we get to look after ourselves and look after each other.
Yeah.
It's like one hand feeds another kind of thing. So no, I think we need more people like, but you're not on your own though. There's a team of you, isn't there?
Yeah. So Dover Activity Parks.
Sorry, hang on. It's Skatepark CIC.
Yeah, Dover Activity Park CIC originally was the Dover Skatepark project. But yeah, now we've been a CIC for 5 years, and we've been successfully delivering skateboarding lessons, free skateboarding lessons, and skate park events in town and across the district. And yeah, we've got a team of coaches. I think we've got seven coaches. There's 4 of us at the moment that are mainly running the lessons in Pencester. We've got some Elsham lessons coming up over the summer holidays. So yeah, we've got a little team going on. We really love bringing and sharing skateboarding. We do actually have plans to widen our offerings. So we are looking at the moment. I spent yesterday doing some bid writing work because there's some funding available. I'm hoping to get a BMXer on board, someone that can teach scootering. And we've also got a guy who's Mikey, shout out to Mikey. He currently does Muay Thai classes for teenagers. So we're looking at bringing that into sort of what we do as well. So yeah, we're trying to branch out. There's more to life than skateboarding. I understand that. So yeah, we are trying with our team, and we're looking to build our team. It's the whole idea. When I first started, it was the Dover Skatepark project because I wanted a skate park. Everyone in town wanted a new skate park. So we all got together and we manifested that idea. But as I've grown and as we've been through this process of getting this facility and recognizing that we need to involve the whole community, that we need to build an activity park rather than just having just a skate park. We want to build other facilities that other people can enjoy, not just people that do wheeled sports. So that's why we changed our brand. Now we're going to grow and offer different things just to appeal to the wider community, really, because there's such a need. And like you said, if we had more free time, and the people that do have free time, there aren't necessarily free facilities for people to go in and enjoy and reap the benefits. The benefits, obviously, mental health, physical health, and like just everything, feeling part of the community, everything that you can get from using those spaces. So yeah, we're still growing, we're still learning. I'm learning all the time. And yeah, our main goal is, at the end of it, is to have a facility for the whole community to enjoy. But so much more has come out of it, and we're a good team. We're solid. I've got guys. So we've got Cal, we've got Matt, we've got Mikey, and myself. We're coaching regularly across the district for Dover Activity Parks and other our own ventures that we've got. So yeah, that's the end goal. But these other things have come out of it, and that's the best thing about it, is that having a passion for something, manifesting those ideas and just driving your passion. You never know what's gonna come along. And if someone said to me 10 years ago, "Oh, you'll be teaching kids skateboarding at skate parks and in schools," I would have laughed. But now it's my profession. So it's crazy how much skateboarding's grown, but I've also had to drive and keep going at what I've loved. And I see skateboarding as different nowadays. Like, skateboarding for me used to be going out, being the best skateboarder you can, filming tricks, skating as hard as you can. But now it's different. It's sharing, and it's a profession, and it's still a good form of exercise for me at my age. Like, just having a skate just to make sure that you're doing something. But yeah. The team's there. The team's doing well. We're getting a lot of really good feedback from parents and from young people. And we've got, I think the best thing that we can take from it is that kids and parents are attending our lessons, and they're coming back. They're coming back week in, week out. And they've been coming back for 4 years. And I'm actually trying to get some bigger helmets and pads because they've grown. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's when you know you're doing well. People are coming back. We're getting new people turning up, which I love to see as well. So there's new people, there's new kids that want to start. And the best thing about it is we get a lot of girls and boys. So I'll say there's a 50-50 split, but I'd say, like, an example is, like, a little girl turns up on the Sunday morning for the lesson, very shy, very timid, coming for a 2-hour lesson. By the end of the 2 hours, they've made a bunch of friends. They're super happy, super hyped that they've been skating and they've learned how to ride down the ramp, and they come and give you a hug and and high five. And that's what it's about for me. And I think that myself and the rest of the team, we'll try and get the most out of the sessions. You know what I mean?
I think people don't realise how many transferable skills from such a sport go into life. And like, as you were saying a few minutes ago about the growth of the sport, I don't know if you remember, but things like skateboarding, BMXing, even mountain biking, maybe even like surfing or anything that was kind of a radical extreme sport was kind of a rebellious sport. It was something that, just some people were like, look at that. Look at
There
that.
was a
look
bit
at
of a
that
bad,
rogue.
bad
it was like,
stigma.
whoa,
Yeah.
they're lunatics. And now it's like, well, no, actually, everybody's getting more. As you know, I'm a mountain biker. I haven't really been much for the past 2 years, but that's massively grown, hugely grown. And so you're totally right about the need of more and more facilities. And I don't know if you remember, but in Dover, we used to have, this was a little bit before my time, I was too young, but we used to have a little swimming pool, paddling pool in Pencester years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Connaught Park used to have a crazy golf course and free tennis courts and such. It was, things you could do up there in a kiosk, and everything's just sort of dwindled away. And I don't know if you can put it down to just not the right people running it or something like that. And we do need to bring those back. So back onto Connaught Park. Are you still aiming for Connaught Park?
Yeah, so where we're at the moment, a lot of progress. I mean, I've been knocking on DDC, Dover District Council's door for a long time. We've been doing a lot of work with the council. There's some fantastic people in the council that really are behind us and want us to achieve our goals. A lot of the work we're doing now probably should have started 10 years ago, but it didn't, and it is happening now. So I'm really happy. So at the moment, I chair steering group meetings.
Wow.
So we're all, as a collective, sitting around regularly, basically talking about how we're going to make this happen. So the right people are in the right places. We've just got to make it happen. We've got a plan. Connaught Park's always been Dover Activity Park's favoured site. There's always been, I've since day one when I decided to start campaigning, Connaught Park was a no-brainer for me. I can't discuss too much about where we are with that. I know, like you mentioned about the swimming pool in Pencester, that's kind of the problem we have with Pencester and building a concrete skate park, because we need to dig to fill with concrete, and there being no foundation because there's a swimming pool under the skate park. It's a problem. It could be money spent elsewhere rather than money spent on just making that site a possibility, if you know what I mean. So we always want to move away from that. We also don't really have much scope to expand in Pencester, because that's the main thing for me, is the skate park needs to be larger. There's no point in us building a skate park the same size. These sports have grown, like we've already touched on. So we need to make sure that we've got a bigger space for more kids and adults to use. So we've always said Connaught Park. We'll always stick with Connaught Park. These are the sort of things that we discuss in these meetings.
That sounds like a lot of earthwork, though, to do that.
Connaught Park. It's less work than the particular part of Connaught Park we want to use isn't.
Okay. Have you ever considered the old Co-Innovation Centre site? Is that not even a possibility?
That site's only recently become available when you think about the grand scale of how long I've been doing this. Like when I did a site, sort of, we looked at every site. I was looking at the St James's site because nothing had been built on it yet.
Right.
This has been a journey. We're always talking about sites. We've done surveys. We did a survey last year. The public favour Connaught Park.
Have you ever published? See, I didn't know. I mean, I wouldn't. I only follow you on social media, but I'm not directly involved, so maybe I wouldn't know that you're doing these steering groups. But do you ever publish the information, like in a minutes document of what you've talked about, what you've decided? Not all the time, but do you kind of let the public know that this is what you've talked about?
I don't, purely because it's sort of behind the scenes stuff, and we can't really talk too much about what's this. It can always, sometimes it can cause sometimes a hype, which we want,
too much
but
hype,
too much.
Yeah.
I think the way that the council operate and work, that we don't discuss too much about what goes on at those meetings. So it will always be a public consultation, everything, but we're kind of not at that stage yet. We're still doing the groundworks. but they're starting.
Is it money though that's the biggest issue?
We've always said all along that we'll raise the money. So we're not asking Dover District Council for any money. We will raise the money. There's plenty of funding opportunities out there. We tick every box. These facilities are so important, and especially if we were able to build a facility for the wider community, not just the wheeled sports community, then there's more. Then that opens more funding opportunities. But like I said, some of the sports and leisure people in the council we're working as a collective. They're going to help us get this funding. Nice. So it's not coming from Dover District Council's pocket. They're going to help us get. So this is what the steering groups are about: is whose job is what and what they can help us with, and who takes ownership of each part of this process.
Well, most people don't know or realise that actually a lot of projects are not directly funded from the Dover District Council. Like there's loads of things that happen, and it's all about, like you say, bid funding and this kind of stuff. But people do assume for some reason that the money's coming directly from the Dover District Council.
Yeah, it never does. So, for example, Connaught Park, the tennis court's been redone. The tennis court, that was one of our ideas. We proposed that as part of our activity park, is to refurbish the tennis courts. They've gone and done it. It's brilliant. But yeah, that didn't come from Dover District Council.
No, it was the LTA, wasn't it?
The Tennis Association.
So when it comes to the funding, how are you anywhere sort of closer? Have you got to reach a massive target, or can you do it in stages? Or
all we know is that there's funding opportunities. We know we can research and see where we can get funding and how much from, and the various different places you can take funding and apply for funding. The first question on any funding bid application is, do you have a site?
Right.
So that's always been our red light, because until we have formal agreement and lease of land, we can't fill out these applications, because no one's going to give you money if you don't have a site to build on. So that's always been our problem.
Do you have legal boundaries on, like, if you as a group get the skate park built, who owns it? Because it's on DDC land.
Yeah, so that's a discussion. We've always said that we would create a sinking fund to cover the maintenance, to ensure it doesn't become like something that the council have to spend money on. We could have a kiosk there.
In Spain, they're very popular. The skate parks were awesome. I used to live in Fuengirola, and they had an amazing skate park with massive bowls, and right next door was an amazing kiosk. Whether you skateboarded, rode a bike or not, people would come along and eat food and watch the people that are enjoying
have
the
a
skate
coffee,
park. And that place
have a
made
can of Monster or Energy, whatever. And
but it needs to not be privately owned. That was the thing. That kiosk wasn't privately owned, so someone was putting all the profit in their pocket. It was managed, it was run, and all the profits went back to the
facility. And these are all parts of our proposal. We've said, look, we understand your concerns and who takes ownership of what, but we'll create a sinking fund. I mean, a concrete skate park is what
is a sinking fund?
So so a sinking fund would be essentially a pot of money, and you generate some sort of income from, say, coffee shop or some sort of kiosk at the facility. The money that you make goes into that pot, and then, say, 10 years down the line, you need to refurbish part of the skate park. Concrete skate parks can not need any maintenance for 15 to 20 years. Then you have money there or any other problems that may prop up and things that need. So you ensure you've always got a kitty of money to make sure that it's not becoming the council's problem. Thing is, with a skate park, if there's any damage, I know Pencester gets a lot of criminal damage, a lot of antisocial behaviour. If it's not fixed and something happens, then it's a big problem. So we're mindful. We always report anything that needs to be done, and the council are very good. They do the repairs. So yeah, you would always need a pot of money, put aside. So yeah, these are all parts of our proposal, and I guess with having these things as part of your proposal, and that's when you can get your local council on side. You have to do the legwork, and that's how you can get them to work with you and understand that you've thought about everything. You've thought about every outcome, and you've made sure you've got everything in place to ensure that there aren't going to be problems, and that the site's going to be managed.
Does the council help you along with this process, or
Yeah,
do they sit back, wait for you to fill out application forms and tell you, no, that's incorrect, come back and do that again?
No, the council, there's officers in the council that email me constantly, like, can we help you with this?
Oh, that's really cool.
What's the agenda for the next meeting? Telling me where we should look for funding.
Well, rather than shout out names, maybe we should mention the departments that are helping you.
Well,
that could be useful information.
I think it's
for other
like
people.
Parks and open spaces, sports and leisure. I mean, I meet a lot of people at the council. There's a lot of people that sit on our meetings. I don't know.
Probably
I don't
a few
know.
councillors as well.
Yeah, councillors. I don't know everyone's roles.
No.
Yeah, but there's some fantastic people, and they're right behind what we're doing, and they understand what we're trying to do, and we all understand these things don't just happen overnight. But I'm just so happy that we're starting to get to a stage now where we're sitting around and we're making this happen. Whether it'll be in Connaught Park, whether it'll be somewhere else, let's make sure that we have facilities for the community. That's the main thing. Are you
talking a lot with Kevin Mills, the leader of the council?
Yeah, we've had meetings with Kevin.
He's a good chap. I like Kevin.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of support. So I just want to name drop Kevin. I think he's had a little bit of a hard time lately. So yeah, big up old Kevin Mills.
Yeah, they're good people out there.
Yeah,
good people.
When it comes to, I don't want to make it too much of a difficult question, but when it comes to like, when you said people go to the skate park and sometimes they hang out, and if you're from Dover and you've been in Pencester, you know that there are people using the skate park and they enjoy using the skate park, children, older people. But there is quite often a number of people loitering, hanging around in the skate park, maybe doing things that some people don't quite like. Is this something you thought about? How is it? Do you engage with everyone? Is it something that there needs to be something extra that needs to be addressed, something to facilitate the hobbies of other people that are not interested in skateboarding, or are they there because they just like to watch the skateboarding? What's your thoughts on that?
I think with some groups, some people are just not interested. I'm not saying they wouldn't be interested in other things. I think there should be more clubs for young people and more engagement to try and stop sort of the loitering and the antisocial behaviour. What I do find is if there's a presence with sort of myself and my friends sort of similar in age, the older sort of skateboarders and BMXers and stuff, then they maybe move on. I think Pencester has a bad reputation and it's very understandable why, and I don't think a skate park should be in Pencester. I think there's issues there that need addressing, and that's, I don't know who needs to fix that. I think that's sort of social issues and policing. I think that's kind of why a new site would be preferred for a skate park. Why should young people, skateboarders, BMXers, scooterers have to be around that sort of environment? But I will say the more of a presence in the skate park, it kind of goes away.
Yeah.
Because if it's an empty skate park, there's more chance, or just Pencester in general, not just the skate park, the other areas in Pencester, there's the lack of presence. There's probably a bit more going on that should be.
Kids are wandering around in the streets in the evening whilst everything's closed, and they can think, "Oh, this is my playground.
This is my
do
playground."
whatever."
Yeah,
we definitely. There was a while back. I went to the gymnastics club up at the top of Coombe Valley. Popped in there because I wanted to try and find a place that I could do a little bit of parkour stuff, and that would have been ideal. But the trouble is, and this is not an insult to them or anything. They've got their club and they do their thing. But they were very much kind of like it's kind of a closed club. I was like, you've got this facility here that probably quite a few people would like to. Like me, I love tumbling and
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. It's the best kind of gym that I enjoy. So we need all these different with the facilities there are some facilities here in Dover. We just need to figure out a way to make them more access. And do you know what the other thing is? I like to try all these different things. So I like bouldering. You go to Canterbury, you go bouldering, or F51 in Folkestone, you go bouldering, or go and do a yoga class, or go out on my bike. Or I like to do all these different things, but most people end up having to buy a membership. So bouldering's like 80 quid a month, I think it is. It's not cheap. But if I want to do all of these things, I can't because it's too expensive. And we need to somehow figure out a way. And I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if you remember an app that started up, and it was around gym memberships. And the idea is that you could go and use any gym anywhere with this app, and then they get like a payment from the person, especially if you're like someone who's traveling around, for work or something like that. And it might be difficult, but would be great that you can give access for more things somehow. I don't know how to work that out. But yeah, I enjoy doing all different stuff.
All different things. Yeah. The problem is these things cost money. That's why it's important to have free spaces, open space. Use the green spaces that the community has, and let the community have facilities there. It's not everything is going to be possible. Some things you need memberships, you need an indoor space. But yeah, I do. It's so important that, especially to try and, like you talk about the kids loitering in Pencester, maybe we can help the next generation. Maybe a few of those kids will have an interest in wheeled sports or some other activity that comes out of an activity park in this town, and maybe then they lead by example, whereas the rest of the group want to do a similar thing. So yeah, I agree with you. Doing everything's is far too expensive. But by creating free to use outdoor spaces, will definitely benefit.
How often do you go to Deal Skate Park? Do you go out there at all?
I don't. Probably just personal preference that I don't like the skate park layout. I mean, the only times I've been to Deal were to do lessons.
Oh, okay.
To do lessons for Dover District Council.
So who's designing some of these skate parks then? Is it just some company, or are they actually asking people like you?
Yeah, well, it's changed so much. So you got to think the skate park in Deal and the skate park in Pencester, so they were the same project. So there was a certain amount of money that was spent on building those two skate parks at the same time. Deal got a bit more money than Dover, and they went to the people that built the park. GBH Ramps did Dover. I'd like to say Maverick did Deal, but I don't know for sure. And yeah, they'll probably draw up. I know I went to the meetings all that time ago. How long's the skate park that's in Pencester now is probably about 17, 18
Yeah, I was going to say probably 20
I
years old.
I went to the council meetings then, and I remember we sat just up there by the library, and we sat there with the council, and they had 3 designs and went pick one, and that was what we picked out of 3 pretty bad designs. But at the time, the bad designs now, but at the time, the things have changed. At the time, I was like, I'm never going to say that skate park. That has been my stomping ground for most of my life.
Of course.
And I'm very fond of Pencester Skate Park. I've loved it. But yeah, skateboarding's changed. Wheeled sports have changed. Bigger, better facilities. And the way that they do it now is with sprayed concrete, more durable. There's a better feel to you riding on concrete. It's much better. And there's more scope to sort of how you design it. With the metal ramps, they're kind of pre-built ramps that are just installed. But with a concrete, you can build whatever you want. And that would be a stage in anyone getting a new skate park built, is where you'd sit around and you would go, oh, we should have this feature, we should have this, and then we can draw it up. We don't have to look at, oh yeah, we can put this ramp here, metal ramp here, this is what we've got to work with. You've got endless possibilities with concrete. You can make it however you want. And
To-
and that would be a collective idea from everyone, not just skateboarders, BMXers, scooters, anyone that wants to use that park. Most importantly, the people that use it at the moment, because they're the people that are going to use it, and really sitting down and going, guys, what do you want? What do you want? Because I don't care.
To keep,
I care what they want. Do you know what I mean? They're going to use it more than me. So yeah, that's.
Oh, is that debatable? They can use it just as much on as well.
I've got no time to use it as much as them. But yeah, that's the difference now. You can create whatever you want. If you've got a space and you've got the money, you can create whatever suits the people that want to use it.
To keep the costs down, have you considered local businesses to help? So, you know, you've got, just off the top of my head, I know there's other businesses out there. You've got Ovendon's, massive plant hire. McAvis, massive construction business. CK Civils, also big earthworks companies. Have you ever considered approaching them for charitable
yeah, I
causes?
mean, they're all companies that we've spoken about, myself and Ross. So Ross is like the chair director of Dover Activity Parks. I'm one of the directors, and these are all things that we've sat and spoken about, and we've written it down, and it's all there, but we don't want to approach anyone until we're off the ground. We know where it's going to be, and the wheels are in motion. So yeah, it's all things we've considered, all local businesses, and there's nothing better than having local businesses have it. But at the same time, there are some really good skate park builders, and they need to be so.
It's their profession, and they need to profit.
Yeah, and with anything like this, you'd have to have maybe 3-4 companies that are capable of delivering what you want, and it would have to go out to tender, and there would have to be the proper procurement process as to who gets the job. And yeah, we have all of that stuff is in the works. We just need to get past this red light of not knowing where it's going to be.
So really, that is what you're just waiting for, is the go ahead on the location.
If we have a location, we are ready to go. We've been building this for so long. It's all there. We're sat on all the work. We need that location.
So come on, district council, give them the go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, what can we do to help? I mean, should we do more social media posts or get it on? Have you been on the news yet? By any chance?
I've done nothing for a while, but I've done a few press releases when this first kicked off. When a bit further down the line, when I first met Ross, and that happened because Ross had sort of a project management. He was working for the lottery. He had the big local, and they had £1 million to spend on local projects, and I sort of stood out to him as one of the very few sort of community projects in town, and that's when we sort of got together, and ever since then he's been mentoring me with his sort of project management and his business background. He's been teaching me how to, and he's been brilliant. Big shout out to Ross Miller. He's been teaching me every step of the way. And showing me how we can make this happen. And that's really where we are with, like you say, what you can do. We've done press release. I've been on the radio. Now I'm doing this. I'm constantly social media pushing. We're doing steering group meetings. We are trying to get there, but these things, we even recently sat there and they said, we understand, because we're always sat there saying, look, we've been doing this for 13 years. Like, why are we still having these conversations? Like, the council have sort of got to the point now, like, we're gonna move this forward. You need to understand this could take another 3 or 5 years. I'm happy with that.
To give you permission to do it?
Because there's so many hoops you have to jump through.
There's too much bureaucracy. Yeah.
And councils are slow, and not every council's slow.
They don't have to.
They don't have to be.
But
And
I understand. Yeah.
there's new skate parks being built all over the country.
And they've got to look at the viability of Connaught Park. At the moment, the foot traffic up there is not as great as it used to be because of the lack of facilities. It's a nice little dog walking spot or a little picnic area, and some people got there, maybe paint, draw, write, do whatever. And well, actually, I'm speculating because I don't spend all my time up there. Maybe there is a lot of footfall up there. The playground's not exactly the best. It's all right.
That's worth. Part of our proposal is to refurbish that.
But they should broaden their horizons in not only just the skate park, put the crazy golf back in.
You've got such a massive space. Some of the conversations are about parking, lack of accessibility, no parking. There are problems.
Do you know what would be an amazing thing with the new builds going on up there? And there's, I think it's 105 contract where everything has there's a coach park at the top of the hill. That coach park isn't really super fit. Okay, what they should do is make a proportion behind the fence of Fort Burgoyne and that area into a parking space, because they've also they've refurbished one of the arms of the Fort Burgoyne. I've forgotten the name of it. Do you know what I'm on about?
Yeah.
I think Dover Arts Department played a big part in it as well. We go through the housing estate and there's that whole new. Do you know the bit I'm on about? So Fort Burgoyne, as you know Fort Burgoyne behind the fence.
Behind the fence, yeah.
Well, it has two arms that go out, left and right. Left is in a field just behind the castle. The bridge goes underneath the road. If you didn't know it, if you drive up past the castle, it's on your left. Fort Burgoyne's on your right, and then you've got these open fields here. There's a tunnel that goes under the road. So there's an arm that goes out into a forested bit where there's a bastion there, and then there's another one that comes out to the right, which overlooks the town down here in front. So they refurbished it, and it's brilliant. It's really good bit of work. So they spent the money on doing that. Now, when people want to go and visit that, again, where are they going to go and park? Because they'll have to go and park on the housing estate where people live, and people are going to be like,
because they put all the new bus route up that way, right? Is that
the fast track?
Yeah. Is that?
I don't know where the stop stops. Oh, the stop stops on the hill. Stop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the stop on the hill. So when it comes to parking, totally agree, because you're going to bung up the whole of Park Avenue and the other streets around that area, and there isn't enough. So I don't know if you discussed this before, but with the housing estate going on up there, they should maybe chuck a few quid at the parking facilities.
Transfer some parking up that way.
Yeah.
I mean, there needs to be something in place, and there must be a possibility. That shouldn't be a factor that stops it. And I've always said as well, like, we live in Dover, everything's within walking distance. I understand, obviously, people coming from outside of town and needing somewhere to park. Yeah, I totally get that. But for the local people, we all live within walking distance. What's the problem? But families and people just walking to Connaught
I used
Park.
to walk from Friars Way out there when I
or
was a kid.
cycling.
Yeah.
Like have place for people to put their bikes so I mean, and that's another thing to encourage people to be fit and healthy. Let's walk there, let's cycle there.
Well, this is part of the local plan. The district council's local plan is about health and sports and fitness.
So the plans that they have, Dover District Council, that's part of what's slowing things down for us, because until they have their parks and open spaces strategy, like, it's set, they can't do anything as far as what we like to really finalize a plan with us. They need to finalize that plan, and then we can then move forward with the plan. If you understand,
totally.
So
now that's the problem with the local plan. I don't know if you've read the local plan.
It's a very big
It's
document.
vague, but it's vague. It doesn't give you an actual. No. This is what it just says. We need to increase these things, but it doesn't say we are going to do this. And what you're proposing is this.
Actual this.
Yeah. So maybe they should take that. So this is what I wonder. How can we help campaign? So one of my ethos. I don't know if you remember, but I tried to stand as a local MP in the last general election, and part of my I
saw some bits on your socials.
Yeah. But I knew I wasn't likely to win, but part of my campaign was about how we can make the council work better in our favour. But I wasn't doing it in an angry kind of like the council's terrible. I actually like the council. But again, I just feel like there's too much bureaucracy and we're sitting around waiting for loads of central government to tell us what to do. And we need to take a little bit more ownership and really take a little bit more confidence in making some decisions. Again, I could bore you with a whole other load of politics things. But Kevin Mills, I think, has only been in, obviously, since Labour was... No, he would have been involved before that with the district elections. But he's quite good. But he's a one-man band as well, you know. We need to figure out a way to bridge the gap and get the people more involved and vocal about what we need and what we want and get them to put some solid decisions on these things. So how can we help you? Share your social media?
Yeah, the social media. Just spread the words. I think doing this is great.
Dover Skatepark CIC.
Dover Skatepark. Dover Activity Parks.
Dover Activity Parks CIC. Facebook,
Instagram. Doing something like this is great for our platforms. It's great for the local. What you're trying to do for local people to be up to date with what's going on. I think as far as helping, we're doing everything we can. We've done all the legwork. We've done the petitions. We've done the survey. The recent survey was Dover District Council that did the survey, and they shared the results with us, and it favoured Connaught Park over Pencester or any other potential site. But I think Pencester and Connaught, the problem is with Dover is we're very limited. I think the best way that everyone can help our cause is by getting behind us. Encourage people to come to our lessons. We've got lessons. We've got a lesson on Saturday morning. So
this Saturday coming.
Oh,
sorry. This will probably go out after that lesson.
Sorry. Yeah. So,
but we can make I'm going to make a post today about you coming here today. Okay. So remind me, and I'll add that. Yeah.
I forgot about that. So yeah, but we've got a few Saturdays. There's dates. It's all on the Facebook and Instagram. You can book a slot on Eventbrite. But so. Doing lessons free, they're free as well. Just want to point that out. It's free for people to. And then
you also have music and
so we have done events with music.
Saturday's not.
Saturday is just skateboarding lessons. We provide the skateboards. So we've had funding in the past from bid writing to secure. So we bought like 30 skateboards, 30 helmets, 30 sets of pads. So we're all equipped with so you just need to come along. Can be adults, kids. I will say though, is our helmets and pads are a bit on the small side. So if you are on the bigger size, then you need to maybe bring your own pads. But you don't necessarily have to wear them. It's how you feel comfortable.
What about helmets? You have to wear helmets?
If you're over 16, you don't.
Okay.
Young children with eyes, all pads, helmets. So we've got these lessons. We've got a few Saturdays, which I do a shout out to Channel and Choices Therapeutic Centre. They funded.
Okay.
We were successful end of last year. They funded our lessons this year. So thank you to them for making our lessons this year possible. We've also had a bit of extra funding from Dover Town Council for a couple more Sundays, and HOT. I can't remember what HOT stand for now off the top of my head, but they've also funded us for some more lessons, and we got some Aylsham lessons this year.
Is HOT something in Dover or Aylsham?
In Dover.
HOT is, what is it, a gym or a
yoga studio? It's a charity. Help Our Town.
Oh, Jason.
HOT. Yes.
Yeah.
Help Our Town. There you go.
Yeah. I'd like to get him round one.
Yeah. So they funded a session or two. So we get the funding and we deliver to the community, and as many people that know about us and want to come along to our lessons, try some skateboarding. Hopefully, if we can secure some more funding for next year, we're going to really try and broaden Muay Thai, BMX, scootering. They're the things that we're thinking about at the moment for our plans.
There was a while back actually some bloke from Ashford who wanted to do boxing sessions in Pencester, but I don't know why it didn't take off. But it would actually be a really good thing. Alf, what time are we on? Yeah. Back from the toilet. So, I mean, the main things I know about you is obviously from the skateboarding world, and as you said, you've worked in the NHS. Um, is this something that you'd like to have as a career choice? The skateboard coaching.
Yeah, of course. So to be able to do something that you love and you have passion for is obviously the dream. I've enjoyed working for the NHS. I enjoy working there, but yeah, there is a career change on the horizon.
Exciting news.
Very exciting. Not official yet. I don't want to say too much, but yeah. So I'm hoping to pursue skateboarding, skate coaching, sort of charitable causes like full time, and take a step away from the NHS. And really, I think when you have an opportunity like this for myself, I'd only ever regret it not giving it a go. So yeah, really excited for the future. And yeah, hopefully it can help the cause for Dover Activity Parks, more credibility, and then also really getting a lot deeper into skate coaching and working in facilities full time and working for charity. Because that's really what I'm about and what I'm trying to do. It all blends together, and I think skateboarding for me, like I said before, it's changed so much, but because I've always been so passionate about it, and you ask anyone that knows me, people, especially feeling a part of the community in Dover, growing up and having my own struggles with addiction and mental health and stuff, like skateboarding always was that saving grace for me. And people that wouldn't even know me by name, I'd maybe see out in town, they'd be like, "You're the skateboarding guy," like because I had such a presence of like always being in Pencester, or always skating the Market Square just here, or down the beach, or just skating anywhere I could in town, and just sort of always just wanting to be out on my skateboard, but at the same time always holding down a job, always driving my project and getting my peers and my friends to sort of get behind and let's work together to make something. To finally have an opportunity in life to run with that, it's I'm made up.
Well, now you're talking about some real deep stuff, and you don't talk about it if you don't want to as such, but you just mentioned addiction troubles, which a lot of people have gone through all kinds of things. You know, even myself, I've been down different paths and all that kind of stuff. So was you found skateboarding at 11, more or less, sort of thing? At what age did you have addiction problems? You don't have to go into too much detail, but
I think it's when you live in a town like Dover
and things are accessible.
Possibly things are accessible, or just making bad life choices and finding yourself. I think it's not always easy to kind of find yourself, and maybe drifting away from the things that are important to you, maybe because of the influences around you, maybe because of how you feel, because your mental health's not great. I'd say, probably through sort of like my early 20s, struggling with certain things, and skateboarding's always been like a great escape, and also a thing that I've had to pick myself up. So if I'm feeling rubbish, or like to be able to go out on my skateboard and be with my friends and do, I don't know, go and do a new trick and film a new trick, and your friends hyping you up and making you feel good about yourself, or even just sitting there when you're feeling down and going, "No, I'm a sick skateboarder," like to pick yourself back up, like that can help you in those moments to be like, no, I'm fine. And it's weird how everything's fallen into place, like everything. And that's why I'll be a true believer in like manifesting. Like if you love something and just stick with it and go with it, because skateboarding was never really doing anything. And maybe my family were like, "You need to give up, you're getting too old." And now everyone's so supportive, and probably regret them things and like saying what they maybe did and yeah, but I'd be the same because it's not really giving you a lot, but it is, but it's probably not showing. But if you keep manifesting and keep going, things will fall into place eventually. And that's where I'm at. And I'm just grateful. And that's why I want to give back. And I'm not saying skateboarding is perfect, but I think it goes across the whole board. Anything you want to do in life, any interest, any hobby.
Yeah. I think there's some. I don't know if it's an issue, but the word manifestation. I remember a few years ago, someone showed me this video. It was called The Secret. It's about manifestation and all that stuff. And it's all well and good to manifest, but you can't sit there and think this is what I want. You've got to be proactive.
Yeah.
So it's not just thinking about and manifest.
Yeah, maybe it's the wrong word.
It's not the wrong word because manifestation is not necessarily sitting there going, I really believe that I deserve this. You also manifest it by being a participant.
Yeah.
You have to be a participant. You can't just sit there and think this is going to come to me. You need to actually put yourself out there and do it.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I think by just mind the pun, but staying on board, like kind of staying on board with it. So this whole Dover Skatepark project, now Dover Activity Park CIC, this all came from me going into the working world, sort of 18, loving skateboarding every day, stacking shelves, and the mind sort of going and being like thinking and understanding what everyone else that's around me wants. All my friends at the skate park at that age, everyone wants a better skate park. We're all traveling, we're all going to Barcelona every summer to go and skate great skate parks together. And why can we not have, and I'd always come back from a trip and be like, why can we not just have something really good here so we don't have to feel like we have to leave our own community? Like why? And I think, and that's what I mean by manifest is I had that idea and that dream, and then everyone's support and the backing from everyone at the skate park, because when people saw me sort of drive with that and see me in Asda signing petitions and see me in the newspaper, that's when the whole skate park, Pencester, everyone got behind me and were like, right, you're the guy that can do this for us, because everyone wants it.
Nice.
And then trying to show the wider community why it's important, and the council, which they understand now and they get it, and that's the main goal is to get all of that. You thought about it, you need to stay on board and you need to do it. And yeah, I've been going for donkey's years, but what I'm saying about staying on board and manifesting is, although I haven't got a facility built yet and we're still working on it, and I probably would have dropped it, but this has led me to other channels like the coaching, like a new career, because I've stayed with the skateboarding. A lot of people that I knew back then when I started don't even skate anymore. People lost interest, people grow up and do different things, but I stuck with it, and yeah, it's kind of falling into place now.
Can I ask you another deeper question? I'm not judging or assuming. It's a question I want to ask you because I can relate to you, and you've said a few times about people have said, "Oh, you're the skateboarding guy."
Yeah.
In my past life, I had that comment thrown at me a lot of times when it comes to mountain biking, because where I used to live, I did a lot and achieved quite a bit. But what I didn't do is have any kind of ego about it. Like people kept saying, "Oh, you're the mountain bike guy," and I was just like, "Oh, whatever. I'm just doing what I'm doing, whatever." How has that ever affected you? When they say, "Oh, you're the skateboarding guy," you just said, "Oh, you're doing this for us." How has that played on you? Has it?
I'd say younger stage. I feel like it gave you a bigger ego, but I was always like you'll only ever be as big as your ego. And this is my mentality when I just wanted to be the best skateboarder. Like I just wanted to skate. I wanted to just get better at skating. So I wanted a big ego. I wanted people to think that I skated all the time and I was good at skateboarding. And yeah, that made me feel good. But yeah, nowadays it's different. I don't want to feel like people are like, "Oh, you're the man, you're doing this for us." I just want to do it because it's what means. I feel like it's my purpose to do it. And I don't really care what people think. Like, I know I've got support, and I know it's what's needed in the community, whether people understand it or not. I'm not going to start ramming it down people's throats and putting it all over Facebook like, we need this. Maybe I did do that at the earlier stages, because I know how important these facilities are for the community, and I know why I'm doing it, and I know that I need to do it because no one else is going to do it. And and that's just why I carry on doing it, and good things come from it at the same time. So it's not just about getting it done. It's about what comes from it, and what you learn, and who you meet, and how the experiences make you feel. Everything about it. It's not just about the end goal as much as it is about the end goal, if you know what I mean.
The journey is
the journey
more
is just as good as and sometimes I sit there and go, the day that we have a new activity park, skate park, whatever we manage to achieve, it will be one of the happiest days of my life. But what after?
It's like completing a very good computer game.
Exactly.
Like,
And then you just feel like the next. But then
do I start it again?
But then I've already thought about this, and I thought, well, if I'm successful, what I want to do is I want to go around the country and help other communities. I'll know how to do it. I would have done it. So then I can start helping other communities and giving advice and consultation and being like, look, I've done this. And because every town, every village deserves good facilities, and there's money out there for it. You just need to get the money. You need a site, and you can just go and access the money if you know how to do it. And that's part of my journey, is just learning that.
The main reason why I wanted to, it was almost like a shift of subject when I asked you that question, because I was more relating to psychological thoughts and things. But the other thing that I've noticed as well is that when I lived in another country, I was able to achieve things a lot more, probably because I didn't necessarily speak the language, so I didn't get to hear all the negativity on things, and so I just kept pursuing and just did what I wanted to do. But the psychological reason about ego, the reason why I was asking, is I'm 41 this year, and I have experienced different things in life. And I got to a point, like I say, like I said, you're the mountain bike guy, and I even experienced people coming on my holidays and things like that. They were looking at me as this because of the social media and without going into detail, I did different things, and people were like looking at you as if you're like some kind of celebrity status. And I was always like, no, that's absolute bloody nonsense. And the reason why I'm saying that is because what I feel has happened over generations just past, and even up until today, is once a person gets a slight inkling of, I've got a following and I maybe have influence over people and I'm looked upon as some sort of, that's when the ego then takes over, and everyone is like, I'm the one and I'm doing this and all that kind of stuff. And I feel that's why those people get favored on, the social media and all that kind of stuff, because of that ego and that arrogance. And it's actually like, no, just because somebody's doing something doesn't mean that they have the answers and they are the one or anything like that. They've just got the energy to put into it.
Or a passion for
something. But we all need everybody else around us. It's like doing this podcast thing. I've said to Alfie before, yeah, okay, I do okay at, chatting to people, but in absolute reality, and I do social media, I don't really want to be the face of some of this stuff, but nobody else is doing it. So like, right, someone's got to do it. We've got to do it. And as long as everyone backs each other for doing it, and nobody thinks, oh yeah, I'm the best at all this kind of stuff, and we just support each other. And that was the reason why I asked you about how it affected you ego-wise. The only reason I asked you that question, because I actually felt like it wouldn't offend you, because I could already, because I know you a little bit as well. And I knew that you wouldn't be like, well, I am the king of skateboarding.
I think it's the total opposite, because when you realise you've got a following and people support you, and like you're teaching, essentially, you're teaching kids. I teach kids in schools and at skate parks and stuff. Like, I need to change how I am to make sure like I'm the best example for them. I don't think it's any gonna make me have a big ego. I think it's kind of different. It makes me behave differently to
Quality of standard is far different.
You want to,
Yeah.
especially if you're running your own company, a charity, you're getting funding to do something. You want to be delivering a high standard. You want to make sure I don't want to fail. I don't want to end up with no kids booking my lessons because it sucks. Do you know what I mean? You want to make sure, and you want to have a good rapport with these kids and the parents to know that, like, don't have a stigma about skateboarders. Like, understand, like, we're all like a family, like, and we're just here to help, and we want to bring the best out in like your kids, building confidence and making friends and breaking down some social barriers.
And that's also another factor, is families want things for their children to do.
Especially free. As a parent, if you can find things to do with your kids to keep them entertained, like, for free, you're winning. 100%. And yeah, it's very important to me. And I've spoke to the rest of the team that it's all, and I know I can rely on them. That's why I'm so blessed with the guys, because I know we have a high standard and everyone's got good experience as well. Like, we've been doing this. So Skateboard GB, who are basically the governing body for skateboarding in the country in Great Britain. So they rolled out qualification to be a skateboard coach, and I got my badge 4 years ago. And then when you've got your badge and you've got a DBS, you can then start. You can either do lessons privately, you can do it for yourself as a company, you can go into schools if there's schools that want to have you, and you can just start sort of just coaching. And yeah, like, we're all got experience, we've all got our badges, we're all legit, DBS, and yeah, we just want to give the highest standard, and we want kids to just get into skateboarding because that's what we're about. And the more skateboarding, the better.
100%. Before we wrap this up, is there anything, any shout outs, anyone you want to do, anything you want to talk about, anything we can do to help, just anything?
Like,
no pressure.
Shout out to my missus, Emma, for supporting me all the time. And, like, for instance, like, being here today, she's at home taking care of everything with the kids. Shout out to the kids, Albie, Finley, Perla, and little baby Rio. Shout out to anyone that supported us, anyone that's given us prizes recently for our competitions, our jams. We've done three events now. We've had really, really successful events with music and skateboarding, BMXing, scootering competitions. I've been overwhelmed with the amount of donations for prizes and stuff. I've been in the skate park on the megaphone just dishing out prizes left, right, and centre to people. And I think that, for me, that's a really great
prizes from skate bike shops,
skate shops, skate companies, like BMX, nice. Source has given us a lot of stuff. Skate Farm in Margate, they're doing lots of great stuff at the moment with their own projects. Shout out to Nick Powley. I'm also spoke to Nick recently, so there's a new movement called Skateboard Kent, where we're basically, Nick's getting everyone that's doing projects in Kent, like myself doing Dover, maybe someone in Folkestone, someone Deal, whatever, and then bringing us together as a collective.
Excellent.
So we have Skateboard Kent, and we can all help each other. I know Nick's working on 2 skate parks himself. I know there's a big project in Margate which they've got £1 million for. Things are moving quickly for them, unfortunately not as quickly for us, but then hopefully we can work as a collective and we can all help each other. Shout out to anyone that's funded us. Dover District Council been brilliant. They funded us for a couple of years to do our lessons and buy our equipment and put on events. Dover Town Council, anyone that helps us up the council with the meetings, anyone really that's been involved. I think that's pretty much it. There's probably loads of people I haven't mentioned, but
that was 13 years worth of people to talk about.
It's a bit hard when you're on the spot. 13 years worth of people.
Yeah,
so a lot of people. Yeah, everyone that helps out, all the team at Dover Activity Parks, everyone that comes to our lessons, every parent that brings their kids along, anyone that's ever come to any of our lessons, anyone that's come to our comps. anyone that follows us. That's what we need. We do need everyone behind this. Everyone to understand what we're trying to achieve and why we're trying to do it, and then really just to get behind us and show just show us some love, really, so that we can make this possible. Without everyone, you can't make these things possible. You can't just go up there on your own and expect something to happen. You need the backing.
Mate, if it wasn't for people like you, there wouldn't even be, I know you've been doing it for a number of years, but there wouldn't even be this thing on the table.
Wouldn't even be a
and you'd end up
conversation.
with a consultation with 3 terrible ideas for a skate park.
Unfortunately,
again.
yeah, that's,
you know what I mean?
that's what
So
happened.
I appreciate
Yeah.
what you're doing, and people need to know about what you've been up to.
Yeah, that's why this is such a great opportunity, and I appreciate you guys for coming and doing this. And
I hope enough people are listening.
Giving me a platform to sort of speak about what I'm trying to do. And I know I do talk about it a lot, and people ask me, but this is nice to be able to sort of say it. And
this is the point of what
share
we're
it. This
doing.
is it,
It's
yeah.
highlighting what people are doing around here.
Yeah, I've enjoyed watching them.
I mean, we're
shows
just sitting here in front of a couple of microphones, but you're trying to get a skateboard built, a skate park built. So, you know what I mean? So, no, I really appreciate it, mate.
No, thank
honestly.
you.
And unless you've got anything else you want to highlight, we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, no,
I think we've done more than an hour now, Alf. Yeah, just over. We still need to get you a microphone.
Yeah, have him in the background. So, yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, see you later.
Nice one.
All right.